Farmer's Reef. It's been a while since I've done a video for you guys. Life kind of got in the way. But I want to do a video today and talk to you guys about water changes. We all know them. Nobody wants to do them, but we do them anyway, right? See I haven't done a water change on this tank. I probably went 3 or 4 months without doing one in the 75-gallon tank here. And I noticed a lot of things when I wasn't doing them. I had a lot of nuisance algae that started to grow, and detritus everywhere. Part of that is I don't have enough flow in the tank, so I gotta fix that problem as well. The gyre there doesn't quite cut it, so I think I'm gonna get an MP40 and supplement the flow there. That's like the MP40's nutrient transport mode, so I think that'll help out a lot and get the detritus build up in the dead spots. But alright, back to water changes. I did one today. I've been doing them for a couple weeks now, and I've noticed a lot of improvements. I'm doing 10 gallons every Saturday. Every week I do 10 gallons. That's like 13.5% of my water volume that I'm changing every week. And I tested my levels today, and I got 0 on my nitrite, 0 on my nitrate, 0 ammonia. Phosphate was 0.02, so a little bit of phosphate there, even though I am running some BRS GFO. But I haven't tested my calcium, alkalinity, or magnesium levels yet. That'll be later on, because I am going to start using Kalkwasser to help raise my pH, because I can't get my pH over 8 ever. It stays about 7.8, 7.9. So that'll help with the pH. Plus, it'll also help me get my calcium, alkalinity levels, help me maintain them, even though I don't have a lot of corals. But so when you do your water changes, you should always start with RODI water. Don't ever use tap water, because you don't really know what's in it. Especially if you live in a city, you've got chlorine and chloramines in there. You don't want those in your tank. Okay. I use this ocean reef crystals to make my salt. Some people say some brands are better than the other. I can't really get into that because I really don't know. I've always used the reef crystals. So it's you mix up your salt water. Now you don't want to just mix it up and then just throw it in your tank. Okay, you should always. I mix mine in a 20-gallon brute trash can. I put 10 gallons in there. Well, usually it's about 12, 13 gallons I make. I always have a little extra, because you never know when you need a little bit of extra salt water. Mix it up. It calls for ½ cup per gallon, but it's usually more than that. Yeah, you want to put a power head in there with it. That'll help mix the salt. And you also want to throw a heater in there. And I'll mix the salt in slowly, let the power head mix it up. I'll come and I'll test it. I'll put some more salt in. And so on and so forth until I reach my 35 parts per trillion. Or 1.025. That's where I like to keep mine. Oh, that's right. And I usually let it sit for 24 hours. After 24 hours, I'll do my water change. I'll siphon out 10 gallons, put the new 10 gallons back in the tank. There are people who will run their reef successfully without doing water changes. I've noticed in mine that I can't do that, so I have to do them. They say you should do, it's like 20% every 2 weeks. I've noticed when you do them every 2 weeks, you're not as stable all the time, so I like to do mine once a week, 10 gallons once a week. It doesn't take me long, 20 minutes to do the water change, but I usually end up doing everything else at the same time, so it turns into an hour or a couple hours or whatever. I change my filter sock, clean my skimmer cup, clean the glass, all that kind of stuff, and throw the testing in there. So it takes time, but getting into this hobby, you should know that everything in this hobby takes time. Nothing comes quickly. Nothing comes easy. You know, you got to work at it, but it's all part of the hobby, and we all love it. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. Water changes, I think, are the one thing everybody doesn't like to do, but we all do it anyway. Okay. I think that's about it for water changes. You know, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. Mix it up, let it sit. Make sure you test it. Oh, before you put the water in your tank, you should always make sure it's the same parameters as what you're taking out of your tank. So same temperature, same salinity. Or say your salinity in your tank is a little bit low. I keep mine at 1.025 or 35 parts per trillion. Say I test it with my refractometer and it comes out to 1.023. Okay, I'll mix my salt water a little bit stronger, say 1.0267, and what I can do is I can gradually raise my salt water, my salinity back to the salinity that I want to keep mine at. Okay, so that's another good way to do that. But you want to make sure you take your salinity in your new water, your temperature in your new water. It doesn't hurt to test the calcium and alkalinity, magnesium in it. That way you know what you're actually getting. Then you can dose according to that with either Kalkwasser or 2-part, or some people use calcium reactors, however you're going to do that. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that the water you're putting in is the same as what you're taking out. And another bad idea, or not a bad idea, when you do your last bucket, like I always do 10 gallons, so I'll take 5 out, I'll go dump it, and then I'll do another 5, but I always keep that last 5. Just in case, for some reason, something happens, or I didn't make enough salt water. You know, you can always take a little bit of that water and put it back. It's not going to hurt. If you siphon your sand bed, like I do, you know, don't want to take the water out of the bottom of the bucket. Take it out of the top to fill it, put it back in. You know, just do them. Or don't. It's up to you. You can do them if you want. You can do them if you don't want to. But my suggestion is to do them. You know, do 10% a week. Most people, you know, well, depending on your tank size, that can be a lot of salt that you're going through. Like I have a 75 gallons, so 10 gallons a week. It's not bad. It's a little over 10%. It's 13%. But I've noticed a big difference. And I think it can really help with most of your problems with nutrients. I mean, if you have excess nutrients, it could be a load of different things. You know, it could be overfeeding, which is something most of us do because we all want to see our fish eat, right? We enjoy watching our fish eat, so most of us all overfeed. Well, you can compensate for that. Do your water changes. Have a protein skimmer that's rated for more than your water volume. You know, your filtration. Your biological filtration, that's a big part of this. You know, you want to have a good biological filter in there, and you want to maintain that biological filter. So, but yeah, I think that's about all I got for water changes. I didn't show you guys anything, because I already did it, but most of us know how to do it already. You know, it's one of the first things you learn how to do, setting up a saltwater aquarium. Even if you've never done one before, you know how to do it because you've already had to mix salt water to fill the tank, right? The only other piece of advice I can give you is when you're testing your water, most people when they first get in the hobby, they'll get one of the swing arm hydrometers. I know I did. They suck. Okay? I mean, they work. They're not very accurate. For a Fowler tank, maybe, you could probably use it. But I wouldn't use it for a reef tank. You know, buy a refractometer. You can get them at any saltwater store. You can get them on Amazon. You know, I think I paid $25 for mine on Amazon. Make sure you calibrate it. Some people calibrate them with RODI water. Yeah, you can do that. Your better bet is to buy some actual calibration fluid for it. That's usually at a set point of 35 parts per trillion. Let's put a couple drops on there and you calibrate it with that. That makes everything a lot easier. But anyway, I won't hold you guys up any longer. I just want to talk to you about water changes a little bit and how they're helping me and my thoughts on them. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.